Hello Native Talk family, my name is Renelo Morema. You've probably seen me on the African Diaspora News channel. If you are new on the Native Talk, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, leave us a like, and if there's anything that you resonate with, or if there are facts that you feel like I need to talk about and I haven't covered enough on this segment, do leave a comment below. Now let us get into it. Julius Malema called out Black South Africans for their hypocrisy. He was addressing his EFF supporters recently, and he said that he's embarrassed to be a South African. At this point, it's embarrassing to be labeled a South African because South Africans are on a rampage, attacking people that look like them, attacking African migrants. But when it comes to the Boers of this country, when it comes to white people, when it comes to Indians, when it comes to Chinese, or anything that resembled whiteness that is of European proximity, they don't go for that. Why? Because they're scared. Black people of this country have been taught to be inferior to white people. It's systemic. It has been passed down from generation to generation. And at this point, we can't even blame apartheid. We are outright afraid of white people. So he says it's embarrassing to be labeled South African. Check out this clip and let us come back and discuss.
I am ashamed today to call myself a South African. The image that are coming out of Durban make me to be ashamed. You are beating blacks. You are slaughtering Africans. I've never seen you doing that to a Chinese. I've never seen you doing that to a white person who doesn't have papers. I've never seen you do that to an Indian without papers. But once they say it's an African, because you hate yourself, because white people taught you to hate yourself, you kill other Africans. Stop that nonsense. It ends today. We must unite as Africans.
All right. So in this clip, he says a mouthful. But what I can gather from here, basically says, you know what? Black people would rather economically abuse, physically abuse migrants as compared to Indians, Pakistanis, Chinese, and all of that. And this is why white people of this country hate Julius Malema, because he confronts racism head on. The last time there was a leader that was bold in confronting the hierarchy, the economic hierarchy of South Africa, it's Julius Malema. The last time we had leaders like this, it was back during the apartheid era. After that, it was Kumbaya. But Julius Malema knew that this peace, this democracy in South Africa was a heavy price. It came with a heavy price, and black people are currently paying for that, because with the unequal economic state of this country, we are the ones that bear the burden. We are the ones conforming to the rainbow nation notion, while white people run rampage in this country and do some weird stuff that no one holds them accountable. So Julius Malema disturbs white comfort. That's why they hate him with every ounce of their being. So and have you also realized here in Africa, leaders that disrupt white comfort are usually assassinated or killed or silenced? Have you realized that white people hate radical blacks? White people essentially are saying that, hey, you can be black, it's fine. You can live the way you want to live, it's fine. But just don't disrupt the hierarchy, the powers that we hold. Don't question anything. Do as we say, bow your heads. Don't question the system, and you will be fine. You will live. And anyone that dares question the system, they will put him through what Malema is currently going through. Have you realized that? Am I the only one that has realized that? And the Boers are so slick, guys, because with Julius Malema, they knew that he was loved. At some point, Julius Malema was the most loved black person in South Africa at some point of his career, his political career. So, and they knew that they couldn't outright be racist towards Julius Malema. Yeah, they can throw in jabs there. And the reason why white people all along were throwing just little racial jabs, it was to see how he can bend. They were testing his boundaries, how far they could go with Julius Malema. And they saw that, hey, Julius is not breaking. What are we to do with Julius Malema? And that is when Operation Dudula came into the picture. Now, I know that Operation Dudula has been in the picture long, before this white genocide claims, before the Boers lied their way into the United States about these white genocide claims. Operation Dudula has been functioning long before that. I think even before COVID, or around COVID times, 2019-18, it was active. And Operation Dudula was meant to be a crime watch, a neighborhood crime watch, and also to target illegal immigrants that open shops like the Pakistanis, these Paza shops. They were meant to target those, right? And it was under Nhlanhla Lux, and it was going well, but Nhlanhla Lux basically left the operation because of the direction it was heading. And this direction meaning now they wanted to target other African migrants away from Soweto, away from the Soweto neighborhood. So he was ousted. The original leader of Operation Dudula was ousted, and now Zandile Dudula came into the picture. Now, how Operation Dudula was used how Operation Dudula was used by white people will scare you if you look at it the way I am looking at it. Operation Dudula started trending on X for their rampant attacks on African migrants, illegal African migrants, they'd like to call it. They would go to clinics or these illegal businesses, and they would, negotiate, or not negotiate even, they would not attack them, but they would prevent them from accessing hospitals. And while they were doing that, they will televise it, they will take videos and make sure that they trend all the time on TikTok or on these social media platforms like Twitter. So you as a South African, you would expect Operation Dudula videos to always make the rounds on social media, and they would trend, and that's how they gained the love of South Africans, because they came under the guise of saying we are putting South Africans first. And to a certain extent, it was working. Even healthcare workers were saying, hey, clinics are no longer overloaded, beds are no longer overloaded, resources are no longer overloaded, we are no longer overworked as healthcare practitioners. We are so happy with Operation Dudula's work. To a certain extent, it did work. All right, I'm not discrediting their work. So Operation Dudula is trending. It's becoming South Africa's favorite group or movement. And while they're trending, the Boers are seeing how they can use them to eliminate Julius Malema. So Julius Malema comes out with a statement and says, hey, what Operation Dudula is doing is wrong. It's violating people's human rights. And the constitution of this country says everyone that lives in South Africa has the right to access healthcare. Basically, that is what the constitution entails, right? So, and Julius Malema is like, they are contravening the constitution, and they are violating people's human rights, and as such, they should be brought to justice. They should be arrested and brought to the political task killings organization or whatever. They should be arrested. This is what Julius Malema said. Now, with that statement alone, it evoked violence. It put Malema in such a compromising position. He lost favor with people. Even people were starting to say, hey, we are no longer voting for the EFF. We are done. Like, people started stepping away from the EFF as a political party and stepping away from Julius Malema. Even people from leadership positions in EFF started distancing themselves from Julius Malema, because Julius Malema loves the black skin, because Julius Malema is not scared to confront the injustices done to the black skin. Julius Malema is not afraid to confront injustices in general, whether political or racial. He's not scared to go there. So that's how he lost favor with a lot of South Africans. Now, the Boers are seeing that, hey, Julius Malema is no more a fan favorite in the black community. This is the time to strike. And how are they going to strike? Donald Trump said, why don't you arrest that man? Remember when Cyril Ramaphosa and his delegates went to Washington, D.C. to dispute the white genocide claims? Remember that? And Donald Trump made the whole meeting about how Julius Malema is such a bad man, how he needs to be neutralized, how he needs to be arrested, his influence is wrong. You know, I love Donald Trump because he let it slip that Julius Malema is the most powerful man in Africa. That should tell you that if Donald Trump is scared, of Julius Malema, it should tell you that black people have power in their hands, but they were so blinded they couldn't see that. The Boers saw that. The Boers saw that, hey, Trump is scared of Malema. It means we are really losing power. Why black people at that moment should have taken into consideration how powerful they are, but it went over their head. They didn't see it. Fine, let us move on. Donald Trump calls for the arrest of Julius Malema. Now, how are the Boers going to do this without being racist, without being obvious that they are pushing Washington, D.C.'s mandate, and without being caught and without being called out by the black community? Let us think. Operation Dudula. Operation Dudula has already painted Julius Malema as the bad guy. Operation Dudula has made sure that every black person in South Africa has isolated themselves from Julius Malema. They have made him vulnerable to attacks, and the black community is not going to protect him because he is hated by black people. So let us attack. So the Boers dug out a case from 2018. They pushed it however they want to push it so that Malema could be found guilty. So this 2018 case, basically, Julius Malema fired a gun in the air during one of EFF's rallies. I think it was EFF's birthday or anniversary or something, and he shot a gun in the air as the crowd cheered for him, and everybody was so happy. Everybody was infatuated by these, gunshots. It was happy. No one was hurt. So yeah, obviously the law was like, hey, firing a gun in the air in a public space like that is illegal, and it's grounds for imprisonment, and you can face some serious jail time. It's wrong. They took him to court right then in 2018. The case dragged, the case just fizzled out. So now that Trump has called for the arrest of Malema, they needed to find something to hold Malema's hands, to make sure that he goes to prison. They needed to find something, and lo and behold, they found that 2018 case. They hurled it out from the ground, and they pushed that agenda. They pushed that agenda. They pushed that agenda. They pushed that agenda. They pushed it until they found a guilty verdict that came straight from the Oval Office. And they knew that in pushing this guilty verdict, no one was going to go to the streets and protest against this verdict, because Operation Dudula has already painted Julius Malema as the bad guy. They've already neutralized it. So basically, the Boers, killed two birds with one stone. They killed two birds with one stone. Bring down the EFF and imprison Julius Malema. Bring down the EFF as a political party, meaning no more black representation in parliament as the DA wanted. Remember, the DA told Donald Trump that they no longer want black representation in parliament, meaning they said they don't want EFF and MK in parliament, and these two political parties, they represent black people's agenda. So they told they told Trump that they no longer want these two black representations in parliament, and they didn't have the solution to do that. That's what they told Trump. So this arrest will definitely shake the EFF as a political party. And when Malema is imprisoned, there will no longer be a black voice that's unapologetic to the black people, that will stand up to the black people, or stand up for the black people. So killing two birds with one stone, thanks to the protection of Operation Dudula. Now the country is divided. Operation Dudula was used as a catalyst to divide the country, because white people could not outright separate the country, divide the country without being obvious, without being called out for inciting apartheid rhetorics. They couldn't do that. They couldn't push out Trump's mandate to get Malema arrested without looking obvious that they are Washington, D.C. stooges. So they needed a neutralizer. They needed a catalyst. And that catalyst is Operation Dudula. Say what you want, guys. I really don't care. I really don't care. Operation Dudula came as a guise to say we are putting South Africa first. But if they were really putting South Africa first, they would have, I don't know, made a pact or had worked together with Home Affairs to make sure that these illegal immigrants get out of the country. But all they are doing is just terrorizing people from accessing healthcare facilities and other government services. And they're terrorizing them while they're busy videographing them, taking videos of them and putting them on social media so that they could trend. That's all they're doing. But if they were really honest about their mandate, if they were really honest about what they are doing as people, as an organization, as a movement, they would have teamed up with the Minister of Home Affairs of the DA, Leon Schreiber, and say, hey, we are holding it down here on the ground forces. We are literally taking these illegal immigrants out of our communities. Now all we want is funding or transport or something from the government of the GNU to take them out and throw them into their home country. If they were really honest people. Because what they're doing now is just show off. Taking videos, haha, look at us. We are stopping Zimbabweans and Nigerians from entering hospitals. And then what? These illegal immigrants, they're still going to go to another hospital. They're still going to go to another hospital. There's no, come on, guys. They will literally go to the next hospital. They'll go to another. You stop them from going to this hospital, they'll go to another hospital. You stop them from going to that hospital, they'll go to another. So the work done is zero. So what is Operation Dudula really doing? If you were honest, Operation Dudula every single day, together with the rest of the black community in South Africa, we would go to the Minister of Home Affairs. We'll go to the offices of Home Affairs and make sure that they hear us. Protest there. Make sure that they organize buses with these countries, with Zimbabwe and Nigeria, to come take their people. They'll organize something to take them out if they were really honest in what they were doing. But right now it just looks like they're doing this for clout. They're doing this to trend. There is no solution. If anything, we are shooting ourselves in the foot as black people because you stop these people from accessing healthcare. They have chronic diseases. Some have HIV, some have TB. They're going to go home and infect us. So what's the work done is zero. What's the point? What's the point? So yeah, I just feel like the timeline is wrong. The timeline is wrong. Operation Dudula on the rise here in South Africa. The Boers push for a white genocide claim. It was not working at some point. They tried to rope in Trump. It was not working at some point. Trump calls for the arrest of Malema, and now Operation Dudula has made Malema the #1 public enemy, and now arresting Malema has become easy. You tell me who is using who. Tell me that this organization is not funded. Tell me right now. Tell me it's not funded. Tell me it's not internationally funded. I said it was an Israeli organization. I was wrong with that. But it is funded by an entity that is not from South Africa. I can assure you that. I can assure you that the funders of Operation Dudula, they're not in South Africa. Yeah, she made a point. The other day, I attended their meetings, by the way. I attended one of their, is it Twitter Spaces on Twitter, where they hold a space or a meeting and they discuss. I made notes. Not a lot, because they never made sense anyway. I made notes because I was told that I might interview the president of Operation Dudula, but she's been dodging us. She's been dodging to come on this platform because she knows that we will question her, and she knows that not everybody is a black South African. Not everybody thinks like Chris Excel. Not everybody is politically illiterate. They know that. That's why they won't come on our platform and answer a series of questions or be interviewed, because they know that we will hold them accountable. They know. So in their meeting, they discussed how they are going to become a political party. Usually a movement like Operation Dudula that becomes a political party, once they get into parliament and start earning real money, they are prone to be used by white supremacy. They are prone to forget what their duty is. They will forget to put South Africans first. I can assure you, once that money starts hitting their accounts, once those millions start coming on a regular basis, they will be pawns. They will be used by white supremacy to forward their agenda, to develop the white supremacy agenda, and to a certain extent neutralize black people and make black people politically illiterate. Make sure that we don't question white people as they come to power. We don't question the white monopoly as it rules South Africa. So I feel like Operation Dudula is going to do that. Why do I say Operation Dudula is going to do that? Because the president of Operation Dudula, from her own mouth, praised the government of apartheid and called it law and order. There was law and order during the apartheid government. This is verbatim. This is what she said on that Twitter space. There was not a lot of illegal foreigners. There was no crime. Of course, there will be no crime during apartheid because there was not a lot of movement from black people. The apartheid government was strict in the movement of black people, and they were strict on the movement of black South African people. Imagine now immigrants, what more immigrants? So obviously they were not allowed to come here. There would be a law and order because of the strict measures the apartheid regime has put in place for black people. So we are not even going to discuss that. This is from her own mouth. And some of her speakers, this is what I have deducted from my own, this is what I've deduced from my own psychology while I was listening to everybody speak in support of Operation Dudula. Some of Operation Dudula speakers alluded that anyone that is against Dudula, both foreign and South African, are an enemy of the sovereignty. So basically, if you oppose Operation Dudula as a South African, you are prone to be an enemy of this country. You are number one enemy, and we can tell that, or we can see that by how they are treating Julius Malema currently. We can tell that anyone that goes against Dudula will become public enemy number one because of how they're treating Malema at this point. So yeah, as I made this, these are the 4 points. I made 4 points that I wanted to discuss with her. So basically, I wanted to discuss how they're becoming a political party. I wanted to discuss how they are putting people in danger for not agreeing with their mandate or their policies or their actions. And 3, I wanted to question them about their white supremacy agenda and praising the governance of apartheid and calling it law and order. 4, I wanted to talk to them about their funding. Who is funding Operation Dudula? Because they claim that the people in the neighborhood are donating money, they're donating uniform, they're donating transport for them. But with the high unemployment rate that is currently plaguing the black community of South Africa, I doubt that people will willingly take out money to finance this organization. I really, really doubt that. We are grappling with high unemployment in this country. The economy is not on the black people's side. So these are the 4 points that I wanted to discuss with her, but she is dodging us on the African Diaspora News channel. She does not want to face us because we will ask her the hard questions. She'd rather have a Twitter space or a live stream with her supporters because they will take anything that she has to say. And I saw it when she praised the apartheid regime, that we are dealing with a lot of crazy lunatics. Don't get us wrong. We want illegal immigrants out of this country, but we will not condone or conform to violence against the black skin. That is something we're not going to do. So please do comment to me what you think about the segment. Do put down your own points. If you're South African and you support Operation Dudula, hey, come through. Talk to me. What am I missing? Teach me. Don't be violent, because that's how you reply to anybody that does not support Operation Dudula. You tend to be violent and you threaten their lives. So don't do that. If you're Operation Dudula lover, supporter, comment, tell me I'm wrong, request a live stream with me. I would love to know what is going on in your minds. So thank you for watching the Native Talk. I will see you on the African Diaspora News channel.